the internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. If you want to join us on Zoom, there is the number. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Words. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Advocate of Words. When you spell words, it is with a Z. We have 25 people who are guaranteed to be on the slot tonight. Tonight, we had a record number of people attempt to sign up. Each poet will have 4 minutes to perform their poem. At the end of their poem, I will ask them to share their social media so we can all connect and really be what we say, a community. So tonight's theme is my culture. That is going to be your theme, whether it is in terms of your background, your ethnic background, in terms of where you live, or like me right now, I am on a high with the baseball culture. My son pitched another fantastic game. We have the best team in the league. I think we're going to win the championship. So I'm excited about that, and I love me some baseball. So, yeah, 25 people signed up. They have 4 minutes max to perform their poems. Then we're going to ask them where their social media is and where everyone can find them. With that being said, let us get started. Make sure that those of you who are joining us on Zoom, you open up the chat, especially if you're on the open mic, because I always like to put who the next 5 are on the open mic so you can get ready. And when you perform, make sure that you put your video on so that we can see you performing. It's as if we are at the cafe and you're performing. So with that being said, we are going to a man who's been stuck on the waiting list, but he's first tonight on the guaranteed list. And he is my wingman when the bars open back up. And that is Mr. D.G. Clearing, who should be able to unmute himself.
Hello, Advocate. How are you tonight? And everyone, it is so nice to be here. Thank you, Advocate and Nuyorican Poets Cafe for doing this. It is greatly appreciated. Tonight's theme, this merges with last week's theme, which was spoils of war. The two go together. War is a terrible thing, not only robbing life, but also the cultural icons of society. This is part of our culture. This is sacred to us. How dare you? You have destroyed my home, leveled our schools, bombed our shops, burnt to the ground the places of worship, in sacrilege graffitied what is sacred to us. Our children are dead or orphaned. You have beaten or raped our women. Most of our men have been butchered. The ones still alive have been wounded and maimed. All of the livestock has been slaughtered. We will starve before the winter is half over. There was no fight with us. There never has been. We are peaceful. We want the same things, to have a better life for our young, to grow old in peace, to worship, to have plenty of food and drink, to have a good roof over our heads. Now you come and take the spoils of war, treasures that you call trinkets, watches, coins, jewelry, the gold teeth from our dead, paintings of our ancestors, sculptures of our heroes, relics of holiness that are blessed with our sweat and blood. You steal what is left of our heritage so you can worship them, praise them as treasures in hopes of forgetting the deeds, the brutality, the blood you have spilled. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for D.G. Clearing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Sound is always.
Thank you.
Powerful.
Thank you.
D.G. Clearing, let me unmute him so we can hear him one time. Should be able to unmute yourself. DG, where can the people find
I
you
am only doing
online?
one poem tonight. The place that you can find me, and you can all find yourselves. If you don't do this, no one will find any of us. Go out and vote, please. Vote, vote, vote. And you will find me every place after that. Thank you, everybody. Please go out and vote. I'm looking forward to hearing some great poems tonight. Thank you, Advocate, and everybody else.
Thank you, DG clearing, man. Like I said, go back to the bars. That's my wingman, looking fly with that shit. Miami Vice in it. I love it. I love it. All right. Next, we've got coming up Midnight. Oh, he's representing Brooklyn today. I'm liking it. A little Spike Lee like. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm good. I'm good. All right, you ready to get into it? Oh, I'm
Let's
liking
go.
the shirt
Okay.
too. I'm liking the shirt too. All right, man, go ahead.
3 haikus and a poem. Noose, a first necklace. Small support for Black business. We are still in chains. Can comes from can't. It is not an easy road. Believe in yourself. Him, his supporters, stand back and stand by. I say, skip to the jail part. Of Jamaican heritage, born in America, Brooklyn, New York, I am a Jamaican. This strict West Indian culture is the life that I know, often pushed to academically and athletically grow. The taste, the music, the particular spice, the manner in which I was taught to live my life. I not going to forget. When the people must have to know, I am a Jamaican, living by what I was told. Sometimes I wonder where my family may have slipped, the part where teachers and helpers taught togetherness. Just the same, in me, this lifestyle is maintained on lessons on how to live. Do you have everything? Because without knowledge, you have nothing. Prevention is better than cure. You have to live your own life. And if you can't be good, be careful. I not going to forget. When the people must have to know, I am a Jamaican, living from what I've been told. Stories, fables, folk wisdom is how I was taught, not only for today, tomorrow, or yesterday, but the man I have become and will continue to be. New Yorkers, say it with me, I am a Jamaican.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Midnight.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamaican man. Great to hear you. Love that accent, bro.
Hey. Yeah.
That is Midnight, the Jamaican. Let me unmute him one time so he can let us know where to find him online. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it up in the chat. It's Midnight Poet, IG, SoundCloud, Twitter, Cash App, website, and all that good stuff.
Awesome, thank you. That was Midnight, and he just sent me a picture of him playing old school baseball, like from the 1800s, no gloves. Gangster, man. I love it. Sorry I didn't respond, but I did see it. That is awesome. I love it. All right, let us continue moving on, and we are now going to, where is she? Is the lady in my heart? Where is Catherine? I saw her earlier. Oh, there she is, waving her hands at me. Let me unmute Catherine.
Hi. How is
There you
everybody
are.
tonight?
Good. How are you this evening?
Well, I'm okay. I'm watching the Führer on the front steps of the White House doing his retake and retake. So I wrote a new piece and I added a little tag on from 2003, one of the times I visited. Well, you'll see. Culture vultures is what I called it. My culture is on my mother's side, pretty much non-existent on her side. Oh, sure, I had piano lessons and etiquette lessons, but in terms of culture, my mother's family was from St. Louis, Missouri, English, Irish, Scottish, and German descent. Aside from immigrants, the only real culture here in America was stolen from the native Indians. But you can't buy culture. You're either born with it or not, as in mostly European cultures of Latin descent. Forget those Norwegians and Germans, unless you like yours served up cold. Not much magic to be found there, just rigid rules and interminable regulations. Oh, sure, I traipsed all over the world with my mother. She took me to great museums. But I was never taught the real meaning of things, the real inner being of people's cultures and places, at least not in the Joseph Campbell mythology of lifeways, until I visited my father in Brazil. My father, who was in fact of French and Lebanese descent. My father, who by his birth in Rio de Janeiro was born a true Carioca, which made me, by that same lineage, and also a true Carioca. People from Rio have a big thing about that, about their heritage and culture. I visited many times in my life, starting in the early 1970s, and although all of Latin America is Catholic in both their churches and practices, still, Brazil is also known for its white magic, for the candomblé. I've never seen anything quite like it, except perhaps in India. This was before they had huge rave parties on Copacabana Beach, and before the hordes of mostly young people crowded shoulder to shoulder, bobbing up and down like candied apples ready for the picking, swaying to the blaring, thumping dance, before there was the candomblé. It's the last day of December 2003, and I am in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, visiting my family. New Year's Eve starts with a swirling, strong wind blowing out the final cobwebs of 2003, stirring up the memories of the modern day mind. The rains come and a soft tropical storm grazes the surface of the earth, neutralizing the escape of pent-up emotions. Nature's vast extremes mirror my inner reflections. I'm here to experience the birth of 2004, and what better way to experience this awakening than to see the candomblé. The candomblé is a typically Brazilian spiritualist ritual of African descent, commemorating on New Year's Eve. Vast seas of candles dig into the beaches of sand, following the coastline. It's like watching the flaming tail of a dragon swaying back and forth, a pulsating light surrounded by fire and enveloped by fences of white flowers, roses, carnations, lilies of the field. Each family creating their own individual temple ground to worship the great goddess of the sea, Iemanjá. An effigy of Iemanjá is draped in the night blue gown of the high priestess. Surrounded by candles, she is placed in a boat to return to her home, the sea. If you throw her a flower crowned with a wish, she will either accept it or send it back to you when the last waves return. And if she returns the flower, oh well, you can try again next year. And as the clock strikes midnight, a blazing cavalcade of white lightning, a waterfall of fireworks, shoots over the side of the Hotel Meridian, heralding in a sea of New Year cheer, accompanied by electric carnations, white explosions in the sky, white light descending onto Earth in a full moon crescendo.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Catherine Badan.
Yay, Catherine.
Very
nice. That was
Nice to hear your
wonderful.
history.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Full experience. You should try it if we ever get to go anywhere again.
Catherine Badan. I'm sorry I didn't say your last name when I first mentioned you. You should be able to unmute yourself one more time. Took us on a journey with that.
Thank you. Brazil is magical. It's a beautiful, beautiful city and country, and a lot of violence. They still, the drug lords, all the cocaine lords, they get back at each other's families, and they really do abscond with people and cut them up into their body parts and leave them in plastic bags. I'm not kidding. Kind of heavy duty. That's what cocaine does, folks. Hey, this is me, Catherine Badan. And if you go on my website, you can see all my different links. And thanks for letting me share that.
Thank you, Catherine. Catherine Badan. Catherine, make sure you put your information in the chat as well. Also, like I'm talking about, for those of you who are watching us from Facebook or from YouTube, I'm talking about the Zoom chat. If you want to join us on Zoom, the number is 279, oh, I forgot it, 27995 364. Again, the number is 279-995-364. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Our themes in advance, those of you who are following me on Instagram, you already know what the themes are in advance. Next week is Mirage. In 2 weeks, it's Mortal Enemy, Inanimate Object. What inanimate object do you hate? In 3 weeks, it's going to be our Halloween special. After that, Well of Positivity, because those of us in America The next day will be election day. So just want to come into Tuesday with some positivity. And then the following week, the theme is going to be, it's going to be okay. Because no matter what happens, yeah, it's going to be okay. Also, my mother, her birthday, who she passed away 2 years ago, her birthday is on November 11th. And that was her favorite saying, it's going to be okay. So it kind of meshes well together. So that's what it is. Of course, follow me on Instagram for that information. Also, those of you in the chat, let me see, did I put it? Yes, you could join the chat because I know there was some discrepancies about the open mic list, the confirmation. I just put in everyone who is going to go next. So now we are going to Generalissimo. We're going to Maine, and let me see. Yes, I saw him. I just missed him. Oh, he's got a hat on this time. Oh, and he's got a different structure in the back. How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay, sir. And how about yourself?
I'm good. I'm good. What is the structure behind you this time?
That is another menorah. It's actually called the parenthetical temple. If you see over to the side, there's two parentheses that help balance the whole thing off.
Nice. I see it now. I see it now. Awesome. Awesome. All right, man.
It's a menorah, like everything else to menorah. Okay, so I'm going to do two pieces, but I just want to say I want to appropriate Jamaican and say that I'm a Jew-American. That's okay, and because I think that Jamaican is a great saying. I love that. Okay, so let me try to do two pieces if I can get them in time, and I'm putting my timer on so I can make sure. The first is, oh, why does my computer do this? It's called Such Normalcy and Such a Nice Brisket. Auntie Lucia, I didn't know your name until we met. You were great Uncle Gershon's wife. It would be the only time I met you. It had been over 2 decades before I was born since you and Gershon had come to America. We were family. You hugged me with such genuine love that we had never met. We were family. Uncle Gershon kissed both my cheeks as if he had held me as a baby, a surrogate grandfather for the one that had died when my father was 5. It was warm that night. Dad turned on ceiling fans and opened windows. We were dressed for shul, sitting for dinner, coats over chairs, sleeves rolled up. You rolled up your sleeves and there it was, a tattoo of numbers and letters reducing you from a person to a piece of soon to be discarded inventory. I was a teenager. I stared. Dad had told me not to ask questions. You reached across the table, placed your ivory soft hand on mine. You said, Treblinka. Uncle Gershon had made his way to the Belgian Congo before the Nazis arrived on the Isle of Rhodes. In Italy, your family was sent away in cattle cars. After liberation, you made your way to the Congos as many European Jews did, met Uncle Gershon, made a new family, and eventually found your way to South Africa. But that night you were in Mobile, Alabama. Shabbat dinner at mom's chrome-legged postmodern kitchen table. Such normalcy. You lit the Sabbath candles with a sweet, chubby-cheeked smile. Such normalcy. You complimented mom's brisket and asked for her kugel recipe. Such normalcy. That night was a warm spring Alabama evening. You rolled up your sleeves as if you weren't revealing something unspeakable, as if that night was a regular occasion and such a special family event. You did, it was, and it was. I was a teenager. I could only think of the tattoo. I imagined one Nazi shaving your head while another used a needle to give you a serial number. It was the ugliest scar I had ever seen, a wound cauterized by hate and history. That night, it was warm, ceiling fans and open windows warm. Sleeves were rolled up. I stared at what I saw as a horrific scar, but to you, it was only a reminder of a childhood incident that had happened so long ago and was no fault of your own. Thank you. I'm going to do another piece called Mott.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot I muted myself. Let me unmute Generalissimo one more time. I went to unmute everyone. I thought you were done. You should be able to unmute yourself. Ryan.
There we go. Okay.
There it is. There it is. All right, cool. You got like about a minute. You got it. This next one is quick.
It's going to be a little more than a minute. Then I guess we'll not do it then.
All right, cool, cool. So wait, then let me unmute everyone and give it up for Generalissimo.
Yeah.
All right, man. Powerful. That was great.
Nice menorah behind you.
They're like in the menorah. Let me unmute him one more time. Brian, you should be able to unmute yourself and let the people know where they can find you online, sir.
On Facebook, Brian Ira Franco, on Instagram, which I can't figure out how to do post yet on, GNRLSMO.
Thank you, sir. Make sure that you put it in the chat as well. Generalissimo. Next coming up is The Withdrawn. Where is The Withdrawn? Do not see. Oh, I see him in the chat. Where is The Withdrawn? Oh, there he is. Got him. Make sure, guys, if you know that you're about to come up, put your videos on. What's up, man? Oh, I'm like, what is it? The tracksuit? I'm digging it.
Yeah, everyone DMC in it.
There you go, man. Oh, I'm loving it. All right, get into it, brother.
Okay. All right. I think I haven't titled this piece yet, but I think I'm gonna call it "If You've Ever Fallen for a Black Man." I just don't get it. How you claim you love black men but don't support BLM. And by that, I mean you're not outraged when another one of our brothers' lives ends. I mean, when that shit happens over and over again, I mean, where do you stand in your love for the black man? You absolutely cannot like the music, the dick, the hair, the clothes, the kids, the skin, everything in between, and just stand by without feeling some urge to intervene in this fight. Why is there a need to prove to more than the half the people who follow you that aren't your friends what you're doing for the black community? I have done this. I have done that. I don't know about anybody else, but can't you smell when it's bragging, trying to authenticate oneself versus I really am just trying to make an impact and help. Looking for self-approval of your acts based off of where I'm at. Don't ask me what I'm doing. Ask yourself what you're doing. A majority of your education comes from what you learn outside of school, at home, with your friends, in your everyday interactions, life itself, the ultimate teacher. There's a distinct difference in what you do in silence and what you do in public. Do you keep that same energy? Also, please note, not every single move you make has to be mentioned. For class, my homegirl had to think of a time where she experienced entitlement. I thought the answer was completely obvious, given that she is simply a walking piece of privilege. There doesn't have to be a specific encounter you remember. Just being white alone puts you on the high chair of America's throne. These are not alternative facts. We obtain a lot of information online, but you cannot let your only dialect be the internet. Our history was never fully taught to us. We had to learn about it through our own means. Till this day, we are still learning. There are many of us trapped in the same laundry cycle of comfort, always knowing they could do more, but still choose to keep away from the fabric softener. We always could be doing more, and that's with anything. I feel like it's wrong to come at those who ride the waves of tragedy in our communities just because they own surfboards but do nothing to rid of America's scrutiny. To come at not only the women, but men who have relationships with my kin. I have every right to be upset, yet feel in the wrong because maybe I should be guiding them instead of channeling aggression. Praying that God not only changes their hearts, but help me be able to better use my energy. Maybe I'm not doing enough, or at least I'm coming to realize I've got more work to do too. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves, give it up for The Withdrawn.
Wow, Withdrawn.
Yeah.
On point.
Yeah.
Gonna be in your army, brother.
Oh, man.
Withdrawn. Let me unmute him one more time so we can find out where to follow him online. Go ahead, brother.
Thank you. You guys can follow me at The Withdrawn Official on Facebook, Instagram at The Withdrawn, and TheWithdrawn.com. Thank you guys so much. Love and always love. Appreciate y'all.
That is The Withdrawn. Loving the jumpsuit, man. I like the fact that some people dressed up for today. You know, even Realissimo put on a new hat. Midnight dressed up. I'm liking it. I'm digging it. Everyone is preparing for the Halloween special in a couple of weeks. I like it. I like it. All right. Next coming up, we've got a woman who is beautiful inside and out. And the only place you can find her is on the Monday night online open mic. And that is Diane Ward. Diane, how are you this evening?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for signing up again.
I find two prompts, culture and mirage. My culture is many and reflected to you by the one and only deciding factor we both recognize and the only distinguishing characteristic of mine you value to compartmentalize me from you. Me in this world, that for you defines me adequately enough for discarding. When essential equates with expendable and experimental, my skin color suffices as to my eyes, all those characteristics I can pretend and change them and doctor them, but my attitude rings from a sternum superbly percentage.
Wait, Diane, you're breaking up. You're breaking up, Diane. Can you hear me?
I have found you know who you're talking to.
Diane, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, you were breaking up. You got to go back. You got to go back. You were breaking up at the line with attitude. That's where you started to break up.
Okay.
Yeah, pick it
not
up
my
from there.
voice, not my voice, not even my hair, not my eyes. All those characteristics, I can pretend and change them and doctor them, but my attitude rings from a sternum superbly percentage weighted by Africans. I have phoned and fooled, but when photos show me, now you know who you're talking to and don't approve. And some disapprovers are shaded by the same tribe in the same diaspora, chained next to mine and landed on a patch also surrounded by sharks. It is no different on the mainland. It's not a mirage that I sound just like you, have the same intonation of voice, the same quality of accent or not. It's not an earache except to those who try to pass, but some of us can hear and see through that too. I'm not a mirage. I am not defined by you, and it's not a mirage of language or quirk of nature that I am intelligent, have positive attributes, and unapologetically admit humbly and with reverent pride that I'm excited to both appreciate and comprehend that I am a work in progress like everybody else. My being did not commence from a rung below evolution, but equal and apparently a threat to some, so I'm told. It's not a mirage that I have common sense and mother wit. God and astral beings blessed my lineage and gave me on the Babel Tower the ability to learn to speak and comprehend several mother tongues. Because all tongues are my history. It's no mirage that mine were chosen first. And still it's no mirage that whatever you do, I am your genetic source. Your reason for existing is tied to me. So we share the culture of your being, and as much as you hate me, you are really hating yourself, whether you speak to me or of me disrespectfully or not. It's irrelevant. I don't need your benediction to know who I am. My culture is tied to you in that genetic chain, that gene pool. Our DNA is immutable. So I can call you boy while you call me itch, of course, lovingly like you do me and mine, which is like talking to your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, and in some cases, much closer kin. I'm on every continent, blasted by sunlight or paled by lack thereof. I'm no mirage. And if you take yourself out, I'm in every one of your atoms. My culture spit you out and mixed with layers of earth's sediments. When wombed you with specially seeded spray. Boo boo, honey child, your name, religions, cuisine. Yeah, you're welcome. The good in me I passed on to you. You decided to splinter into hate. I didn't teach you that. You decided to free thought, jealousy, and hate, and competing for affection, which wasn't necessary, but you grew hungry for more. And remaining unsatisfied, you will always want more, and you will sell each other for profit. So some of you are mean and evil, some are kind, some are ruthless, and others benign. When you destroy a bit of yourself each time. Have you noticed how your cellular structure, your demeanor changes each time you thrill at killing or moan a loss? It's no mirage. We all bleed. It's no mirage. Our bones are star spackled. Our muscles and sinews similar to spiders like webs interconnect and weave and have strength. Yet some of you capture the unsuspecting to devour for sport and gain and nourishment when substitutes without anima exist. You have decided who to net and who you reprieve. Free will you learned on your own. Frankenstein has nothing on some of this so spawned. It's the creator's risk and shame. Left to your own devices, you have been an experiment of almost incremental failure or comic relief. Well, you know how some kids grow. Sometimes we are absolutely blessed and sometimes blessed skew, depending upon your frame of reference, which I also gave you for your survival. It's no mirage, we're all the same. It's no mirage. I purposely made you to look so differently from time via times, but you'll always remain mine, boy, to itch. You'll learn eventually not to treat your progenitors that way. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Diane Ward.
Great
Thank
as
you,
always.
Diane. He went all the way in. I love it.
Mm.
That was great. Thank you so much.
Dope piece.
Perfect.
Diane Ward, let me unmute her one time, just so we can speak real quick. You should be able to unmute yourself. Diane, your connection was a little weak this time around, just so that you know going forward. But we did get to hear you, and I love when I hear you. Like
Thank you very much.
You have like this combination of like youth and wisdom in your voice. Like I could just listen to you speak all day. Thank you so much, Diane. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
That was Diane Ward. And like I said, you can only find it here every Monday at 8 p.m. A couple of people have hit me up about how they can sign up. Sign-ups open up at 9 p.m. Eastern the Sunday before, and it fills up quickly, especially this weekend. We had a lot of people sign up. We had some people try to sign up too early, and then we had some people signing up really late. 9 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, the night before. That's when it opens up in the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. You go to the website, nuyorican.org. You click full events calendar. You choose the next coming up Monday. So if you did it yesterday, you would have chosen the 5th, and you get an artist RSVP. That is how you sign up. And I suggest you do it very close to 9 p.m. Eastern, because like I said, we've had an influx of new people signing up. So let's keep moving forward. Next, we're going to Central Massachusetts. And if you're following her on Instagram, then you know that she had to look up something in her microbiology book for this poem. I don't know what's going on, but we're about to find out. And that is Christina. How are you this evening, Christina?
I'm tired.
Well, I appreciate you mustering up the strength to share with us, because I've been looking forward to this poem since I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah. So like the stuff that I had like written, like I just like deleted it and like started over, and it's been a good time.
Okay, all right, we're gonna go on the journey with you. Go ahead.
All right. So this one was actually like really hard, and I won't lie, thinking about some of the stories that everyone here tells on a regular basis actually made it harder for me, because I actually don't know a whole lot about my family and stuff, like really at all. So sometimes like when you guys share these really amazing stories that have kind of been passed on to you, I definitely feel like myself get anxious or kind of jealous, and I hate that, but I also love that you guys have that for you. So this is kind of what I put together from that. It's called Lost in the Lines. And I wish I had stopped apologizing a long time ago because you never seem to be sorry. But I seem to think that I need to revisit these lines as though repetition will help me change my mind and help me find a way through. I've cross-referenced memories, organized them in a filing cabinet just in case I need to find something from anxiety, but it's lost in stress, dreams with distortion, but confuse them for nightmares. I'm type A, but I really just want to be your type. So shredding the photocopies and trying not to hold on to the files any longer may make me feel like I am letting loose and being wild. 1, punching bags were never meant to be soft, but that is what happens to them when they are used, too young to develop thick skin, too tired to fight back, accepting love languages that aren't mine to begin with. 2, letters and words form sentences that really aren't complete thoughts. They barely had time to get their shoes on before the wave came and knocked them off of my tongue. I forced them to gasp for air, running with their arms stretched out so that they could catch up to my brain, because you see, there is a disconnect between my fingers and my lips, my heart and my head, and it's like floating across the bottom of the ocean. You're trying to stay down and become a part of the wildlife, but you rise to the top so that the salty water doesn't flood your lungs at the same time. 3, we've eaten way too many cupcakes, and yet that is always the go-to. Bouncy cake, perfect sweet frosting, spicy red wine. It eases the words, it softens hands, it makes time stand still. 4, time stealer. I'm asking for a chance to bring minutes from next week to today because time feels like it's running out, but only an hour has passed by. Lying, hitting the snooze button on my alarm too many times, thinking that this can make up for all those lost minutes in my sleep from those nights before. 5, I sing the alphabet most days as a checkpoint to see how close I am to Z, to end the day, to hope that I'm getting closer to tasks being completed, but I also find myself counting A, 1, B, 2, like 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't tempo anything, but I find that counting to 10 helps when I can't get the words to connect to my fingers from my head, when the lips get ahead of my hands, when I am frozen, but my thoughts are still racing. This is a long way around the pond just to say that I tried to sit down to write a poem about my history, about belonging, about hiding, about trying to be seen. So I turned on dictation because typing just wasn't working. And it sounded like a chance to have a conversation with myself, a hope that maybe a poem could come from it after all. I couldn't find the right words. I continued to reach for the delete button. The pauses were way too long and my eyes just started to wander and my body got tight. I noticed that my chest was really heavy and the words just held on with fear, knowing that they could take their time because the wave was never coming. I'm lost between reality and the stories that I wish I knew, like books I have yet to discover. Like, I was born in the Bronx, but this is actually the closest connection that I've ever had to the city. Like, I have lived in 15 different places, but I have never lived anywhere except for here the longest. Like, we've been in quarantine for 7 months, but I've been isolating myself for 7 years. Like, the jealousy I know that I will feel from your stories, but there is no reason that I should go searching in the forbidden section of the library, like 9, 10, like facing the past and realizing that there are so many fragments missing, so many lies that were told that were later unraveled, that my culture is just a puzzle picked up from Goodwill.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Christina.
Puzzle from Bill. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Very nice, Christina. Yes.
Christina
Beautiful,
always
beautiful. That was-
comes through, opening up, being so vulnerable. I appreciate that. Let me unmute her. So there we go. Thank you, Christina. Very much appreciated with that being so honest and open and vulnerable. So appreciate that there. And even though, like, you know, I like the fact that the poets are flipping it the way they want and being honest, going in an honest way with that and not trying to put up a front. So, Christina, where can the people find you online?
Like anxiety right now. On Instagram, it is Run, Sweat, Eat, Repeat. And then my website is also runsweateatrepeat.com. And I post like health coaching stuff and fitness and poetry there. So
Thank you, Christina. And it adds production value to the performance. I saw you started to get like a little emotional, but that means that you're hitting something honest. So we appreciate that. runsweateatrepeat.com, Run Sweat Eat Repeat on Instagram. Thank you, Christina. And I like that line she had, type A, but I just want to be your type. Oh, so much to dissect from that line. All right, well, we got to move forward. Man. I am a poetry nerd. All right, next up, we're going with Dane Ince. Dane, I think this is going to be his third time with us. You should be able to unmute yourself, Dane. There we go. It's going to be his third week with us. So far, he's been doing well the first 2 weeks. Let's see him add energy tonight and that momentum. You ready, Dane?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Hold on a second here. I got to make sure everything plays nice. Examples of suicide notes. I pull off the mask so you may see the ghoulish torture written upon my face. The horror is such a funny joke. Kids hit by cars, poison in the candy, trick or treat. Camus claims Sisyphus is happy. Look at all these fools dancing, hoping to ward off decrepitude tomorrow, hoping the haunting will subside. The stinging cry will fall silent on your deaf hospital ears. Nothing left to hear but the whisper of the Colt 1911 45 caliber cartridge in your ear. All will be met by harvest. So it's the time to fill our bodies, dance and cheer. Let's get drunk and fuck you, a cop, me, a nurse. Oh, officer, I've been bad, broken the law. Arrest me right now. These heels are killing me. Costumes will, for the moment, divert the horror in our souls. Some will visit the dead. Mama, Papa, Granny, Baby, Betty, Sue light the way to the altar with candles and lay marigolds along the path. They will be thirsty and hungry from their long journey back to the Ventana. So leave them water and bread and bounty of the harvest, so they know they left us full of knowledge and they can rest in peace. Remember, as long as they are remembered, they are living, not dead. While others party like Mardi Gras, they'll blow out their brains to get back at you and cancer and all the crazy zoo. Let's party like it's a party till we die gruesome, large body count in drunken highway car crash. Go fast, step on the gas, live even faster. We need dusty distance between us and the ghosts seeking thrills, the devils, the demons, the holy saints who torture and torment from the day we're stripped, screaming from the womb, till we are worm food wrapped in darkness evermore. Another one, Papa's Daddy. This is about mentorship. I talked to a black man and the stories he told, fighting for freedom while having none at all, how the house Negro ran the whole show because massa is just too slow to know. Still, we sail on slave ships even to today, wrecking on the shore. We say, stop it, loud and clear. We are not victims anymore. Listen to me, son. This you gotta hear. It takes hearts pumping blood to walk through the door. This is no place for knees on necks. He quoted the Bible, the Torah, and all kinds of knowledge new to me. Mysteries and fables learnt from the feet of elders. He quoted the last poets. The white man's got a God complex. And he quoted Rosson Roland Kirk, Blackness, BLACKNUSS, played only on the black keys. Kirk tells us there's all kinds of crosses in his old rugged cross, the crisscross, the double cross. Cross is supposed to help you get across, not cross you up. Papa's Daddy, as he was fondly known, died today. COVID killed him. He was 93. Oh God, all the work I have to do on me. I won't forget what he told me, never. You won't either, because I wrote some of it down here for you and you and you to read forever. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves, give it up for Dane Ince.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Very good, Dan. Thank you for sharing that. That
Very
was
nice.
good. Yes.
Very
Powerful.
nice.
Dane, man, I love when Dane comes on. I'm enjoying him the past 3 weeks. And I still think that I am talking to a fellow tormented artist. That's just me. Dane, where can the people find you online?
Oh, Instagram, Dane Ince. I think it's actually at 2019 DMI or Dane Ince Facebook, same thing.
Thank you, Dane. Appreciate it. That is Dane Ince. Give him a follow. He's slowly starting to become a mainstay here at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Next coming up is Mr. Speaker. So happy to see him again. I've been seeing him in quite a few events of late, and he has been killing it everywhere he is. Sir, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm loving the energy. I'm loving the look you're giving the camera right now. It's like you ready to go in, man. You ready to drop something. So okay. I'm gonna mute myself. Go ahead.
Coming forward right now. My culture. Who am I? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I realize many of you don't know me. I can tell by your blank stares. My name is James. Poetically, I'm called Mr. Speaker, but professionally, I'm normally called Sir or Colonel because, see, I'm a modern day Buffalo Soldier, you might say. So that means on the 1st and the 15th of each month, well, now, baby, that's when I get paid from the Army. But see, that's not all because I also collect rents. Kentucky, Virginia, and Georgia. Well, those are the states where my money is sent. See, I train soldiers, give them orders, and lead them as we protect our home and residence. Check this. Some of my orders even come from that damn president. Look, I shake hands with people like I'm running for a political position. I shake hands with kings and waiters and play dominoes with waiters of all this competition. This president thing threw me off. I apologize. Look, I shake hands with people like I'm running for a political position. I've dined with kings, played dominoes with waiters, and defeated some of the best military competition. I've traveled the world so much that right now I have 3 different types of foreign currency in my pocket. I've driven 160 miles per hour on the German Autobahn, and it felt like a rocket. Since I graduated, I've never been unemployed, as I have needs that I must feed. Yes, baby, I said graduated, because to walk in these boots means you're gonna need at least a master's degree. WKU in Central Michigan, I worked with my university working before I left Smoketown. College educated, paid with street credibility, no doubt. Now that's how a true leader gets down. Started out as an enlisted soldier, been an artilleryman, seen Lieutenant Dan and been called a major pain a long time ago. Yes, I'm an American Guardian and lifesaver. But to all you gold diggers, this soldier's not your Captain Saberhole, because I've been making a living some of the history you've been hearing and reading about. But the fact is, you cannot believe everything in the media, and that's no doubt. Check it out. Minorities commit 20% of the local crime. Now that fact is crystal clear, but minority crimes get 70% of the media play, which is how they keep a lot of people in fear. Look, it is 2020, people, and the US is trying to lead the free world once more. While it is clear that some of them people don't even realize the South actually lost the Civil War. See, I'm not afraid, as I put my work in daily, have excellent credit and high clout. Check your records and you will see I'm that man Salt and Pepper once rapped about. Strong Kappa man, never been incarcerated and still looking for my queen. Being a military leader is hard work, so I cannot have just anyone on my team. Let me put it in a nutshell and give my description a little twist. So hold on to your seats as I run it down like this. I'm a spiritually grounded out front leader and an expert logistician, skilled, motivated, extensively educated, and gifted mathematician. I'm 100% fit to fight. A combat veteran, certified expert with either hand, daily sniper, African heritage, widely traveling. Yo, I'm an all-American. Arrogant, possibly conceited, maybe, feared, better be respected, definitely paid, have to get to poetically, jog formally, come extremely blessed, both spiritually and physically. Strapped always, noob, everyday hero, some say, on target all day, still tall, not afraid, run. No freaking way. Well, that is unless I'm chasing you. And if I am, ain't really much you can do. So run, hide, I'll find you. And ain't no doubt. And when I catch you, I'll make you talk and tell all you know with torture techniques you ain't never even heard about. Face it, I am the closest most of y'all will ever get to war. So sit down and listen when I grab the mic and take the floor. Look, I've heard what singers like Destiny's Child said, what some of them other rappers told you, but get it straight. It's me. Not those street thugs of the real life, modern day Buffalo Soldier. It's my job to stand strong. Look danger in the eye and never quit while I can fight. Without soldiers like me, you can bet your freedoms will be lost in less than 7 nights. Since 1990, I have been representing the United States Army, both nationally and worldwide. See, that's what can happen to someone who understands the true meaning of Phi Nu Pi. So take a deep breath and think of me when you relax at home all safe tonight, because it's your homegrown Kappa soldier, leader of the pack, and protector of your culture, your freedoms, and your rights. In peace.
Boom,
Oh, give it up. Give it up for Mr. Speaker.
brother,
Go
brother.
Austin. Go
Stand
Austin.
Woohoo!
Go, Mr. Speaker. Go, Mr. Speaker.
The Colonel has spoken. I think that was Chance being his normal troll self, man. Mr. Speaker, I love it, man. You laid it down. Make sure you check out the chat. A lot of people said some nice things. One of them, Paul Skiff, said this is great because it's like he's just talking to us. Mr. Speaker, where can the people find you online, sir?
Hey, I'm all over the place. James, Mr. Speaker says you can find me on social media. And here again next week, hopefully.
Yes, next week, please, sir. James Speaker Sears, Mr. Speaker. I love it, man. I love it. Every time he comes through, man, he's coming through with that fire and he's taking control. And when I teach performance poetry to my students, I always tell them, set the tone. Do not wait for people to form an opinion about you. Give them the opinion you want them to have right away. Mr. Speaker does that. He sets the tone. I love it. I love it. Okay, next coming up, we have a gentleman we haven't heard from in a while, I believe, is Mr. Tessa Somok. Where it's here he is. I mean, I'm mute him. Beautiful background as always. I'm loving it. It's like he's built into the painting. How are you, sir?
Good, and you?
Good, good, good. Can you turn your mic up just a little bit?
Can you hear me better?
Yeah, a little bit more. I don't think it's the distance. I think it's the volume.
How about right there?
Oh, sounds better. Nice and sweet. All right, brother. Go ahead. Get into it.
All righty. Let me switch backgrounds on you. This piece is titled, My Mother is an Olmec. Beside ancient springs, out of the sticky gray muck, clusters of brilliantly polished stone axe heads are removed. Rubber balls, large busts, impassive faces painted in red ochre. The mother culture, risen before the Trojan War, risen before the golden age of Athens, 30 centuries of capable art, politics, religion, and economics on a harsh and unforgiving landscape. La Venta, 8 degrees west of true north, an orientation repeated across our sacred sites. Laguna de los Cerros and Tres Zapotes at the Tuxtla Mountain basalt quarries. My mother, the mother of Mesosemanahuac, stretching from central Mexico to the Pacific shores of El Salvador, mother before there ever was a Europe. Today, this land gives way to the colonial cow, sugarcane fields, oil refineries. Someone knew, as other pillagers know, that salt domes means vast pools of oil underlie many Olmec sites, hamlets of corn farmers, while someone tweaks the release of petrochemical haze to shroud the land, to paint a dark band of the horizon, of those who were sculptors, to the artisan that produced bright red ochre, paved his way with bentonite, to the child playing outside with his ilmenite beads, or smith to tons of weight and luster, mosaics of supernatural faces from slabs of serpentine, burials with 28 layers thick of exotic orange, red, and purple clays brought from San Lorenzo. Villahermosa, beautifully sided with sexless, infantile, polished jade figurines, fangs, snarling mouths, whirl of temporal melancholy, and the shaman and his altered ego, the Lacandan jaguar. Men draped as ducks carved from nephrite, the green metasilicate overlapping feathers and gigantic chest ornaments, oblong mirrors and curved beaks. The Soquean, the mother language of Tabasco, Veracruz, Oaxaca, and Chiapas. We arrive at Chiapas, at the hub of the great trading network of the Olmec, where you can bargain the prices, but you can't buy indigenous pride. See, your grandfather was a good man. He came from the Tuxtla Mountains out there. She points out the window. He was such a storyteller. No one was sure he was telling the truth. Nixonites want to convince me that I'm a Hispanic, and my mother wants to know whose panic I am. She says there is no Hispania land. She looks me in the eyes and says, "Are you in trouble, mijo?" "No, jefa," I tell her. "Sí, esos babosos no saben nada. Mira este brochure. Come to Greece, where it all began. Ay, con estos griegos. You can't separate the men from the boys. Chingado." She tells me secretly, "I think your grandfather was Marcos, but don't tell anybody."
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Mr. Tessa.
Yes, brother. Thank you so much. Great.
Yeah, thank you.
Dope. I could definitely relate to that piece.
You're such a good.
So off the hook, the production value in the background, the poem, the pacing of it, how he told it. Mr. Tess was so wonderful tonight. Where can the people find you online?
You people can find me at Gashes 2019. I want to drop. We have this really great open on October 12th. We'll have some First Nation voices on the Barbed Wire Mic Open Series. I'll put it on the chat so people can check it out. But thank you all for the comments, and I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys like the multimedia presentation.
Thank you very much. That was Mr. Tessa Somok. I loved it, man. I love the title of the poem. Once I saw it, I don't know if y'all saw me in the video chat, I went crazy. It's like my mother's an Olmec. I was like, oh, he's gonna bring it. What? Mr. Tessa Somok. Make sure you check him out. He's gonna put the info in the chat. Next coming up is a gentleman who is going to legally change his name to F. Cottrell just to be able to get on tonight's open mic. Formerly known as Jeff Cottrell, it is F. Cottrell. Jeff, how are you this evening?
Good. Next, I'm going to change my name to a symbol just to piss everybody off.
You an artist, man. You an artist. Sorry about the typo. Funny you caught it. All right, go ahead, brother. Get into it.
All right, here's a little piece called Safety Instructions. Congratulations on your purchase of the new Darwina 2021 microwave oven. Your Darwina microwave oven will provide first-rate microwave cookery for you and your family for years to come. Before you begin operating your Darwina microwave oven, please read the following safety instructions in order to maximize your continuing satisfaction with our product. Do not operate your Darwina microwave oven if the door cannot close properly or if it is bent in any way. Do not use if the hinges or latches are broken. Do not stand in front of the Darwina microwave oven for a long period of time, as this has been known to cause tumors. Do not leave an operating Darwina microwave oven unattended. Do not use a brown paper bag to cook popcorn, as this creates a risk of fire. Do not put your face or any other body part inside your Darwina microwave oven while it is operating. Do not bring your Darwina microwave oven into the shower or bathtub with you. Do not lift your Darwina microwave oven in the air and strike it upon your head repeatedly. This has been known to cause injury. Do not stand under a falling Darwina microwave oven after it has been dropped from a tall building. Do not place your Darwina microwave oven in a catapult and then have someone release the catapult while you are standing within the oven's flight path. This can be rather dangerous. Do not use your Darwina microwave oven as an ear piercing tool or for home dentistry. Do not play catch with your Darwina microwave oven. Do not attempt to fit your Darwina microwave oven fully into your mouth or any other bodily orifice. Please do not fill your Darwina microwave oven with explosives and then detonate them while you are within 1 meter of the oven and eating a deli stick. Do not hold your Darwina microwave oven while jumping off a high cliff and trying to fly. Do not hold your Darwina microwave oven while running into an operating airplane propeller. Do not use your Darwina microwave oven to help jam scissors into your crotch. Do not walk with your Darwina microwave oven late at night on random side streets in downtown Detroit. Do not attempt to tweak the nose of a wild grizzly bear while in the vicinity of your Darwina microwave oven. Do not use your Darwina microwave oven as a masturbatory aid. This is not necessarily dangerous, but it is a little weird. Do not attempt to operate your Darwina microwave oven while tied to a railroad track, dangling from a skyscraper, running through enemy fire across a battlefield, sticking your head out the window of a moving vehicle, playing Russian roulette, waving raw meat in front of a charging bull, diving into an empty swimming pool, eating Drano, drinking arsenic, horsing around in a room full of industrial machinery, or smoking. Do not attempt to operate your Darwina microwave oven while pulling the trigger of a pistol, only to find that the pistol appears to be out of bullets, and then out of puzzlement and curiosity, peering down the barrel of said pistol while pulling the trigger again. Thank you for taking the time to read the safety instructions for your new Darwina 2021 microwave oven. Every one of these safety instructions was created as a result of numerous tests involving a multitude of live human and animal subjects, many of whom were orphans, kittens, and adorable doe-eyed little bunnies. Thank you. That was safety instructions.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Jeff Cottrell.
Oh,
You gotta be
yeah,
careful with
right.
the safety instructions.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Jeff Cottrell, the last couple of weeks, has been like one of the characters from Mad Men trying to sell us a bunch of stuff that we could get hurt with. Jeff Cottrell, where can the people find you online?
People can find me at my website, jeffcottrell.com, and I'm also easy to find on Facebook and Twitter and wattpad.com. And I have a feature tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to post the info in the chat. It's at a show called OO Beehive, three O's, OOOH Beehive. And you can find the event page on Facebook. And yeah, also featuring Robert Garnham and two other guys.
OOO Beehive. I think there's been a lot.
Beehive.
OOOH Beehive.
Got it.
Got you. There's a lot of buzz about it. Boom. Okay, that was Jeff Cottrell. Make sure you check out jeffcottrell.com. Find him on Facebook. He's going to put the info in the chat. Next, we are going to Just Joy. Let me unmute her. Hey, how are you this evening?
I am good. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. Hear you good. I think this is like your third or fourth week in a row sharing as well, right?
Yes, this is my third week. Sharing. Yep.
Awesome. We got you and Dane at the same time, man. That's what's up. I feel like we a sports team and we just picked up some great draft picks. I'm loving it. Okay. Get into it, Joy.
So the title of my poem is called I Am. So here we go. I'm shea butter mixed with coconut oil. I'm type 4C hair with a kinky coil. I'm like a Golden Corral buffet filled with diabetes and hypertension, or like a chick with long eyelashes and a blonde weave extension. I'm like the liquor store on every block. I'm like that kid from Chicago trying to survive and not get shot. I'm everything infused into hip hop, from Wu-Tang to Lil Wayne to Big to Pac. I'm Brenda's got a baby, to Papa's maybe. Maybe he on the west side, Crip walking it up, throwing gang signs in the air like he don't give a fuck. I'm Red Chuck Taylor down, omitting the letter C. I'm down south, bout it, like I'm Master P. I'm old school like cherry balls and Swedish fish. I'm every fast-ass little girl in the hood with her hands on her hips. I'm the latest pair of Jordan 1s and Air Max 95s. I'm marching in a black parade with Beyonce's Beehive. I'm Kaepernick when he kneeled and took a knee. I'm Remy, Foxy, and Little Kim, the real Queen Bee. I'm the answer like Iverson in his prime. I'm Jay-Z when he lyrically assassinates any rhyme. I am rhythm and blues. I am the miseducation of Lauryn Hill combined with Erykah Badu. I'm like Michelle and Barack when they gave us hope. I'm like them fiends huddled up by Family Dollar shooting up dope. I'm cornrow braided up like Pop Smoke. I'm like the dysfunction in Black families because we never really learned how to cope. I'm the baby, Lil Baby, Young Gunna. I'm all these little rappers. I'm every Black entertainer on TV. I'm every actor. Ain't no half-stepping like Big Daddy Kane. I'm so surreal like Candy Rain. I am Nas. I'm ultra Black. I'm Ether. I'm standing at the pulpit. I am the epitome of the Black preacher. I'm in DC listening to Go-Go and eating Mambo sauce. I'm flying on Spirit to Miami listening to Rick Ross. Or maybe Me So Horny by Two Live Crew. I'm in a 2-year-old sippy cup filled with Mountain Dew. I'm contaminated Flint, Michigan water. I'm Cream of Nature hair product mixed with Carol's daughter. I'm long, coffin-shaped glitter fingernails. I'm skinny jeans, bamboo earrings, and long ponytails. I'm that burner phone you buy at your neighborhood cricket. I'm everybody's way out the hood. I'm the winning lottery ticket. I'm Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. I got that wop. I'm everything. I am hip hop. Thank you.
You yourselves give it up for Just Joy.
That's Joy.
Baby.
Fire.
Right on.
Yes.
all those things.
Oh, crazy.
And I appreciate it.
Representing for the culture, man, bringing me back and forth, contemporary, old school. I loved it. Just Joy, where can the people find you online?
Thank you, thank everyone for the positive energy. I'm on Instagram at JoyGirls21, and I will also list it in the chat. But thank you for creating a space. Thank you.
Thank you. Just Joy from Atlanta, right?
Atlantic City. I'm in Jersey.
Oh, Atlantic City. Got you. Just Joy representing from Atlantic City. She got bars, man, bars. And then last week she poured her heart out to us. Like, I'm loving having Just Joy on here, adding to the energy. We're gonna keep it moving forward with Andy Markert, and Andy always brings it. Yep, there he is. He got his video ready before I called his name this time. That's what's up. How are you, Andy?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Go ahead.
So I am off prompt tonight because I got the prompts mixed up. So I chose this instead. Painting by numbers the parts of me afraid of light. Number 1 is the dark crimson red of my anger at not knowing why I'm here and what to do about it. This crimson red projecting a dominance around my painting in parts of me I don't always expect, closer to the foreground than I'd care for you to see. Number 7 is the bright green of my secret envy because y'all make it look so fucking fluid, like a river running over rocks when I can't keep my creek bed from drying out, and most days I just want to have enough left over in me to still have a mark on your map. Number 14 is the soft pale yellow of my joy, used sparingly. To highlight the darker spots of me, hiding in my laughter are the monsters that live under the bed or maybe just behind my eyes. Number 32 is the soft, elusive gray of my ever-present loneliness that seems to tint the background of my canvas and worm its way into the tiny cracks between the other numbered colors of my design as though it was a part of the canvas to begin with. Number 43 is the deep regal purple of my own arrogant self-righteousness, coloring those parts of me my ego would like kept as royalty in my mind because it feels so good to know I'm right. Number 67 is a deep longing midnight blue that takes the place of all the black because deep down, even in the darkest moments, are shaded a little lighter. My silent refusal to give in to a deep dark bleakness. My midnight sky is shades of blue and color you might not see until your eyes have adjusted to my art. I have given you the colors of the parts of me afraid of light and who thrive in shadow. And now take this, my brush, fill me in and light me up, and turn the boundaries of me from empty and outlined and terrified into what I could never imagine it become, some work of art emblazoned in light and color. Color me outside my lines and mix the numbers with imagination. I want you to see in me the possibility of beauty. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Andy Markert.
So many possibilities, Andy. Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm gonna go get a paint by number set right now.
Andy's always bringing the heat. He even made Annie Sam put on her video. Hi, Annie. Long time no see. Mr. Andy Markert, where can the people find you online, sir?
You can find me on Instagram at Andy Meerkat with 2 T's. I will chuck that in the chat.
Thank you very much, Andy Markert. You can find him on Instagram at Andy Meerkat. And you know, it's funny, like my dyslexia, one of the first times I saw him on here, I was like, is that Meerkat? I had to check that again. And then when I found out that that's what his social media handle was, I was like, it was the universe speaking to me, not my dyslexia. Okay, moving on. We are now going to Scott Pleasance. Let me unmute Scott, my man. How are you, sir? How are you this evening?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's a pleasure to have you on the list, man. I know you're always checking us out, but sometimes you come in, sometimes you dip out. So glad to have you on the list, man. You got something for us?
Yeah, I definitely got something for you, man. I mentioned this topic to a few people. They told me to change the topic because it's complicated. I said I can't change the topic. I'm not the host. So here we go. All right, this is called my culture. Now, my culture has a bit of a twist, to say the least, and many versions can be told. It has been taken, stripped down, and destroyed. It has been changed and tarnished, a culture that was once laden in gold. The crazy thing about it, as a people, we have endured, and in this cylindrical cycle of turmoil, at one point, nobody would accept our culture, but today it seems there's a lesser version that is borrowed and procured. Now, let me be clear. When I think about my culture, many things come to mind, like language, religion, food, music, and art. These are the different things that make groups different, the things that make us unique, that set us apart. But my culture is more than my particular group where I'm supposed to belong. It's my inherent exposure that includes the sounds of my favorite song. My experiences are also part of my culture. After all, these are the things that we emulate and teach to our kids. Now, I'm from the Bronx, and my experiences include playing ball, riding buses and trains, and visitations on upstate bids. My original language is something that I really don't know, so please forgive me if I sometimes resort to calling you yo. Hey, yo. My religion was hidden, then used as a tool to control the church, the temple, but the mosque always felt closest to my soul. My food should have been all natural, plant-based, like vegetables and fruits, straight from the earth. But tell me why I grew up eating hot dogs and hamburgers and pizza that only added to my girth. My music, yes, my music is rhythm. It's a way to communicate. It has endured all the hardships and allows us to mentally escape. My art is eclectic, creativity and ingenuity that can be traced to the origins of man. We built the great cities in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, libraries in Timbuktu, and the pyramids with our hands. So you might as well grab as much of my culture as you can in the palm and squeeze your fist ever so tightly. The words, the music, the clothes, the experiences, and the pressure is applied. My culture will begin to ooze through your fingers and drip down your wrist and slide up your arm and fall all over the floor right in front of you. And as you step in it knee deep, it will attach to the bottom of your shoes. And with each step you take, my culture embeds itself deeper and deeper into the fabric of your mind and reveals itself in the walk of your neighbors and the talk of your friends. Speak of our culture. It's certainly made of many things. Like my sister said, being Black in America can be complicated, but I do know this to be powerful and true. Our culture is made up of some magnificent things, and those magnificent things include you. Peace.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Scott Pleasance.
Hi, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, that was
Nice
wonderful.
flow.
Thank you
Yes,
so much for
yes.
including me, man.
Awesome.
I'm on your team.
Scott Pleasance. Apparently, he just recruited Norm Mathematics. Oh wait, where'd Scott Pleasance go? Why did I lose him on my video screen? Where? Oh, there he is. I got him now. There we go. You should be able to unmute yourself, Scott. Love it, man.
Yeah,
Love it. And the people loving it, all lighting up in the chat, man, dropping it. Where can the people find you online?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I am poet33. That's where I am. And once again, really appreciate the platform, Advocate.
Thank you, Scott. Man, I appreciate the energy you bring here to the community and add into the community. That is Scott Pleasance. Make sure that you give him a follow. Scott, make sure you put that info in the chat too so people can copy and paste it. Next, we got someone who's checking us out on Facebook. Hi, Wendy. I know you're watching us through Facebook. And she was hanging out with Wendy on Facebook watching it. Now she's joining us because she knows she's about to come up. And that is Roz. Roz, how are you this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Oh, you got the well-lit background this time. Seem like in the same spot. Because last time I saw you, you had the halo behind you.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Just living room chronicles over here. My piece that I'm gonna do today is called Ancestors Lemonade. And it goes like this. Speak English, this is America. A line I've heard too many times before, and I wonder, in whose world is ignorance truly bliss? Is my tongue that much more talented than yours? That you despise how ours glide off it so effortlessly? Tell me. Sorry. Were you taught that my people were a joke and my language the real punchline? Or does my accent send chills down your spine? I wonder. When you hear me, is it that you feel bland, less exotic, too basic, too plain? Why must you shame? Because Latin girls spice up even the dots above their letter I's. See, you are the reason why my grandmother put me in ESL classes in the first grade, deathly afraid that the accent would stay just enough to compromise my chances of getting ahead in the world, your world. There is no reason why we should feel the need to bury our accents like many of your people bury our history. End the hypocrisy. Are Latinas only good at being great cooks and known for being curvy? Maybe a history lesson is what you need. Spanish was the vegetable at the end of the fork, force fed to us as we yucked someone else's yum. A gift wrapped in a red, composed of ancestral blood, dripping from the swords of the colonizers. Our ladies threatened to be raped by narcissist womanizers. I'll have you know I did not choose Spanish. Spanish chose me, colonized begrudgingly, with just our language as the reminder, the bruise. But it's the only thing that we can hold on to, so let us. Don't you know my ancestors fought for this? We made lemonade out of lemons and created a culture we can now call our own. So if I speak Spanish, you leave me alone because the scraps of culture we collected were sewn eloquently to create a heavy, comfy blanket that soothes our battle wounds delicately, a common ground where we can all relate. Something that's ours to compensate for all the pain that came with being Latina. End poem.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Roz.
What's up, Roz? Roz. Good shit.
Wow, that was really smoking.
Roz had something to say, man. She had something on the chest. She had to get off representing the Bronx. Oh,
thank you guys so much. That really came from the heart. That's new shit. I just did it today. And, you know, this came from something that just happened recently. And I'm just like, how is it that we're in 2020 and you're still telling me this is America? I can't speak Spanish. That's how you get cursed out in Spanish.
Yes, I love it. Roz, let the people know where they can find you online.
Through Her Big Brown Eyes on Instagram. I'll put it in the chat. Thank you so much for the platform, Advocate. Thank you guys. I love you all.
Thank you, Roz. That was Roz through herbigbrownyes.com and through Her Big Brown Eyes on Instagram. I love it. I love it. And being I'm from the Bronx and, you know, a New Eurekan. I love it. All right. Next coming up, we have Daddy to be Rich Glennon. With his haircut, sporting his haircut, man. He looking fresh. He ready for daddyhood. How are you, Rich?
Good, how are you? I don't want her to get scared and, you know, go in the opposite direction, you know?
I hear you. We got what, another like 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks now, right?
Yes, 16 days, exactly.
Ooh, see, that's my
21st.
Second favorite number. 21 is my favorite number and 16 is my second favorite number.
Okay.
Good sign. You know,
okay.
I just want you to know my real name is Eric. You should call her Erica. All right. I'm gonna mute myself and let you get into it. Go ahead, Rich.
Okay, thanks. So just three short pieces. Not really on theme.
Did you
Little-
say 33?
16? No, I said three
Oh,
short
I
pieces.
thought you said 33 short pieces. I was gonna be like, dude, what are you doing? Okay, Gad.
They're very short though. They're 33, but very short. Kind of theme adjacent, not really on theme so much. All right, so the first one is a haiku. Okay. From your pungent hair, I suck out barbecue sauce like it's a snake bite. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one is called One of Those Types. If a car squashed me partially, like a worm under the sneaker of a speed walker, I would be one of those injured types that lie motionless and moan, too embarrassed to scream. I've never been one to draw attention to myself, even if time is of the essence, even if I can see ribs. They'll get help. They see me. Okay. And the last one is called Fears. I've had a number of childhood fears, beginning with the dark, whose billowy presence seemed more active in the blank eye of open closets. Then there were brain tumors. I came down with a number of those from 6 to 8 years old, about 2 a month. While on a family vacation in the Dominican Republic, I happened to see a grumpy chap on the hotel's TV stick one of his peers with a syringe full of AIDS blood. Thus, I had AIDS. Tom Hanks's nightmare in Apollo 13 became my own when he floated helplessly into nothingness, as well as Helen Hunt's trauma when she witnessed her father get sucked into a tornado, along with the tornado shelter door in the opening scenes of Twister. But those were childish fears. Sure, anything could happen, but I'll probably die predictably upon the dry tongue of a gurney. Until then, I have proper adult fears, like having to remind a mean waiter about my ginger ale. Okay, thank you.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Rich Glennon.
Yeah.
Volta. That's Rich.
Yeah.
I love that ending, man. The other poem, that second poem, went a little dark. I was like, "Ooh, Rich is going a little dark," but I like that ending. How you flipped the third poem. Rich, where can we find you online?
Rich Glennon on Tumblr and Instagram. Thank you everyone, and thank you for hosting. Killed it on Saturday, by the way.
Nope, I had a lot of fun on Saturday. Had a lot of fun. Thank you, brother. Rich Glennon, man, let me tell you, daddy to be. And one of the things that I've learned about being a father, right? Like, I am not one to like talk about expert stuff. One of the things, the biggest challenges, there are a lot of challenges, is getting over fear. You become super vulnerable. So you talking about all this fear stuff, and I'm thinking, yeah, man, my fears got heightened when I had a kid. Oh, it's beautiful though. It's beautiful. So we looking forward to it, man. Rich is gonna be a daddy. All right. We are now going to take a break from the New Eurekan Poets Cafe's Monday night online open mic, and we are going to travel into the Skiff verse. And we are going to be taken there by the man himself, Paul Skiff. Paul, how are you this evening?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. What about yourself? It's been kind of a off day, so it's good to come here and get charged up with everybody's energy. It's good to hear all this really personal stuff consistently from everybody.
It is. It's one of those topics, man. And I know you got something for us, Paul. So I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Okay. I kind of wanted to do a thing that's a little bit of a homage to my mother, because it would have been her 93rd birthday yesterday. This is, I don't know if you can see this. That's my mother at her first communion. like, I don't know, 1930 or something. But it imparts some of the culture where I came from. My culture is like, you know, in this country, you can get any kind of variety of stuff. So one side of my family's been here for 400 years. My mother's side, she's like the first person born in this country. I actually saw my grandfather's name carved into a wall in Ellis Island. That really made me feel anchored here. This isn't very long. The 3 dresses Eileen owned in 1937 and a chaw of tobacco swallowed by a boy's Quaker tongue while diving for a liner in the deep outfield of Tiger Stadium, trace gray cotton and dirty elbows into my physical presence. But mine was a brick shoveler's back made from bridge cable daydreamed by tears that drank the sun. Silver buckle closing worn overalls around waist of the boiler man dead among his Catholics in the West Side Hospital. Sunshine of a day in 1914 preserved within photograph of a young boy on Ellis Island, the picture no longer than a matchbox, the buckle shine, a few gray specks, small square of immortal light compared by sight to seconds, understanding years. But mine were the coal burner's eyes, carved by guitar strings that sing like train engines driving first day of winter off bridge over human will. The voice Pauline turned to make present names of her cousins or confide who was the best butcher. The voice, unmoved about 40 days, survived at the bottom of a boat. Quiet are the wind hunted, the chance takers, the insolent heroism of making a pie, her hands into my mouth, loudly deny desperation in that boat's passage. But mine is the stonecutter's hand, covered by map of insanity that guides concealed curves of heroic face upon the discovery of laughter. Eyes the winter sky, ancient women from the nunnery after kneeling upon the prayer bench in front of Joseph's casket laid their arthritic hands upon my cheek and said he was such a good man. Their consecration pronounced the message hidden in me. There are lives with consequences and outcomes greater than their purpose. But mine are the ice maker's lips, commemorate victory of reality over death, surrendering in voice of a laughing boy, spelling percentages with a wave crash. The 3 or 4 words of Polish that colored my throat as a child left my mind finally at the age of 5. The syllables are in the wind, that drives up hills of the west side to blow cool over the red blood broth of duck soup invisible within steam, unbalanced, asking me to listen with my spine. But I have the smokestack climber's shoulders that hunt for gravity, walking backward over persistence of tightrope strung between twin reflections. This is how I was made. This is how I was made. Mother, I have collected you back. Pain by pain, death by death, out of 60 blocks walked to home at night. Why did I feel the slow descent to broad lawns and smell the grass when you dreamed of cemetery rides, when you regained anger's breath, pulse, weariness? Your body became only yours, not your child's. Together with vicious refusals, we humiliated preparations for my rape, made by all the institutions that demanded you give me a name instead of letting me be called by a real need. By what gives testimony to life inside myself, a need to walk with wind shaking mountains back, to be water laying over a coin, to rise in the storm, towering at 35,000 feet, becoming a fist of light that never hits ground. Have I always been listening to what I heard your body convey from black fires that put the ocean here to outlive us by 50 lifetimes of incomprehension? Ow, ow, ow. That's light going right through me. Does that mean yes, Mother?
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Paul Skiff.
Oh, you did it again.
Wow.
That was a lot to share.
Oh,
Thank you.
Yes.
Right on, Paul. That was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Paul Skiff, the New Eureka Poets Cafe OG. I know I'm the host, but I think Paul may have more claim to the New Eureka than me. Paul, where can the people find you online?
This is paulskiff.com. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Advocate. It's just really important for me to get here as much as I can. I've just really been loving hearing everybody get really personal with where they came from and how they were built. One of observations somebody made to me once was, you're built by the people close about you, and you don't get to choose who those people are in life. So you really have to give a lot of thanks for the really good people you do encounter when you are able to. And this is definitely one of those places I got to give up a lot of thanks for. Thanks again.
Thank you, Paul. That was Paul Skiff. You can check him out at paulskiff.com. He is a mainstay here on the Monday Night Online Open Mic. We do it every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and he's a mainstay at the actual cafe. Not sure when it's going to open up yet. Just heard rumors, or I was reading online, that they're about to shut down some movie theaters across the country. It's rough out here, man. Thankfully, though, we are going to continue on with this online open mic. This is number 26. And I think our next poet has been to like 25 of the 26, if not all of them. And that is a New York mainstay, and that is Ray Jane. Ray Jane, who's getting some features and whatnot. How are you, Ray?
Hey, man, I'm blessed. I can't complain. I have a home. I have a warm place to be. with y'all and just in physicality as well. I have a job, I have food. What can I complain about?
No doubt. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. And we're very thankful to have you all the time. You know how I feel, Ray. I love it. I love it. Even the open mics outside of the New York, you stay killing it. Ray is the boss. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, you missing out on the other events I'm hosting. But it's not about me right now. It's about Ray. Get ahead, Ray. Get into it.
Facts. Y'all should come out to the erotic open mics. They're lots and lots of fun. I think the next one is October 17th. You can follow Advocate, and he will absolutely have a poster up about it very soon. All right. So what's up, y'all? How y'all doing? Paul, first of all, that was fire. Just all right. So for culture, this is called More Than That. My Black is more than bondage and bandaged dreams. My Black is more than halted visions of dastardly things. My Black is more than hood protagonists on TV screens. My Black is more than burning crosses and military-grade bullying. My Black is more than slave movies as singular Black narratives. My Black is old school jams, jamming on Sunday mornings. My Black is blue magic shining betwixt brand new braids, is beads clacking like carefree childhood, kinda is folded undisclosed amount tucked neatly into warm grandma palm, is instinctive twitch with mere mention of belt or switch, is collard greens with smoked neck bone on shopping list, is knowing which aunt got that bomb mac and cheese, is obscenely colored effort in form of family reunion t-shirt, is moisture greedy crown wave caps curls mistaken for naps, is knowing look between strangers with familiar melanin, is eye contact with that same new friend when they start wilding. My Black is pulling up, getting out, and giving greetings, is cocoa butter scent, basketball battlefields, and open hydrants, is blues, jazz, funk, soul, drums, throat, the foundations of music. My Black is hidden like Beethoven genius behind all your favorite inventors, is the cool everyone is chasing. My Black is precious resource the whole world is wasting. The fact is this Black is no longer for sale. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Ray James.
Yes, that's like
that was amazing.
Exactly right. Thank you, baby.
Nice, Ray.
Woo!
Good job.
Ray Jane always bringing the people to life with her voice and her poetry. Ray, where can the people find you online?
I appreciate y'all. You can always find me here, whether I'm performing or just bigging y'all up in the comments. But otherwise, Instagram is on the top, 3_4 clairvoyant. You can find all my contact at itsrayjane.com. I'm excited.
It's rayjane.com. Ray, thank you as always. Always appreciated.
Blessings, brother. Be safe, be well.
Thank you. That is Ray Jane. It's rayjane.com. Go give her a check out her website. There's a link to her SoundCloud. She's got like 50 recordings there. So if you fell in love with her, you can go check it out and fall in love with her another 50 times over. So next coming up is representing the Bronx. It is Glissette. And Glissette was also at the erotic open mic we had. October 17th is the next one. So make sure you're following me at advocate of words. Also this Wednesday, I am going to be going one-on-one with Lisi. I'm going to do some poems and he's going to interview me. So I'm going to be talking some stuff about the industry behind the scenes as a professional poet and just writing in general. Make sure you're following me. But right now we're going to go to Glissette. How are you, Glissette?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. It's good to see you. I'm glad to have you back here on Monday night after Saturday night. You were looking fantastic and your poetry was awesome as always. So you ready to add to tonight's energy?
Yes. So I wrote a poem for the theme. It's called Cultura. And here we go. Bendición. The Puerto Rican blessing said as you leave the home or enter the home to the elders of the family. In turn, they say, que Dios te bendiga. My mom didn't care for this much, and so it wasn't our thing. Some would say it's a lack of respect. It's a cultural thing. Like eating rice and beans every day with the pick of the daily meat. Also, not our thing. We like to eat a variety of things. Lamb chops instead of pork chops, potato instead of rice, vegetables and verduras instead of beans, brown rice, quinoa, and kale, pasteles and coquito. Let's not be crazy. That could never be replaced. I do still eat cultural things. Acapurrias, bacalaitos, and seafood, those were our delicacies. Arepas, also known as Johnny cakes, was washed down with café con leche. Puerto Ricans love their food and their drinks. And dancing to salsa every time we meet. We value family time and often will make any sacrifice to help those in need. We have a strong pillar of faith and many follow religion blindly. We're tough and humble all in the same. We have traditional values and lots of pride. We don't let much slide. We come in all shades and sizes. However, we are easily identified. Some of us are extra loud. Also, not my thing. But don't get me wrong, I might speak softly, but you'll hear me clearly when I speak. I'm a Nuyorican, and yes, my culture's been melted, but I'm not lacking my culture. I've just added to it. I'm diverse, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yes, unmute yourself. Give it up for Glissette.
Love that, Glissette.
You are a beautiful thing. Thank you for telling us that.
Loved it. Listen, I am not much one to go to the clubs, but if you ever get an opportunity to go to a house party thrown by Puerto Ricans or even like Dominicans over here in the Heights, you need to go. But like a real family house party, you will be well fed, you'll get along with everyone, you will be well drank, you will dance. It's a beautiful thing. Glissette, you should be able to unmute yourself. I was trying to unmute you. There we go. Glissette, where can the people find you online?
Every Monday here, trying to come up with something new for your challenge.
There we go. Every Monday. Thank you. Right here at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Thank you, Glissette. Much appreciated. So don't forget next week, as a matter of fact, let's take put that real quick. Next week, the theme is going to be Mirage. Like I said, every Monday we do this at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We stream live on Facebook and YouTube, but we do this through Zoom. And if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube and you want to join us, the Zoom number is 279-995-364. Also, we would like to thank the NEA, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our free online events. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at nuyorican.org/contribute or via our Cash App, $Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Okay, let us continue and move forward. Next up is Bria Nicole, which I think this is going to be her third week with us. There is Bria. Hi, Bria. You should be able to unmute yourself. This is your third week with us as well, right? The third time you're sharing with us?
Yeah, third week.
There we go. I think just Joy has done it 3 times, and Dane did it 3 times. You did it 3 times. Like I said, I feel like we're a good sports team picking up great draft picks. I love what I've heard from Bria so far. So we're going to hear some more. Go ahead, Bria.
I think the kinks of my hair speaks volumes.
Wait, Bria, you got to start again. Bria, can you hear me?
Yeah.
The beginning of your poem froze. So start from the very beginning. I want to make sure we hear everything. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Do you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now. Everything's good.
So this one is untitled. I think the kinks of my hair speaks volumes of my background, and the deep hues of my skin professes a history of a diasporic chain. I think the imperceptible lilts of my speech gives hints of the land from which my people have come, and my urgency to attain heights unseen are a result of the exemplars they've spun. I think the affinity within me of palm trees and the ocean comes from a homeland I have not yet seen. From the end of her beginning, acculturation aimed to see her anecdotal antiquities buried in the seas. Yet through the trifecta of pain, blood, sweat, and tears, our storytellers and Nancy's weave webbers have kept our heritage unmissable. No longer vicinal, it has spun gold mines pivotal to nations. So the seeds of generations of people. Red, white, blue, black, brown. My culture astounds me all days, for it flays all limitations which comes its way. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Bria Nicole.
Nice read, Bria. Nice read. Thank you.
Bria Nicole, I'm enjoying having her, man. But I love, where is she? Oh, there she is. Let me unmute her. What I love about poetry is like poetry is supposed to be like succinct. You're supposed to say a lot with very little. Bria, and that's what she's been doing, like a compact punch, you know? She's not beating us up against the rope. She's just coming in with one punch, laying it out. Wonderful. Bria, where can we find you online?
You can find me at bria.nicole.c_ at Instagram.
Thank you, Bria. Much appreciated as always. Make sure you put that information in the chat as well so people can copy and paste. Because I know how people are, man. We lazy, you know? It's like we give you the information on social media. You don't want to type it out. It's easy to copy and paste it. So don't worry, I do the same thing. All right, next up, we're going to the teacher, Matthew Weintraub. Where is Matthew? I haven't seen him today. Matthew, are you here? Matthew Weintraub, he signed up and maybe had to go do something with his students. Okay, if you're here, Matthew, hit me on a message because I do not see you at all. Okay, moving forward, next up we have Metronome. I'm glad Metronome is here because I know Metronome, there was a mix-up whether she had gotten on the list or not. And later on they told me, no, she is on the list. So, and nice. Oh, the shoe game. Hold on, let me spotlight the video. Show it. Woo, look at Bryce.
These were the first I ever stood up on an open mic on stage. So.
Oh, shoot. You could never get rid of those, even if you don't want to wear them. You know,
exactly.
You got to keep it. So I'm glad that you're here. You're looking wonderful. Love in the shoe game. And I have a suspicion that you went in on this poem. Something tells me that this is right up your alley. So let me mute myself and let you do it.
You know me. I was just going to thank you for this prompt. Thank you. All right. It's called Adopted. My culture kicked me out of the house when I met another culture, sent me to a therapist who had the nerve to say, I've been brainwashed by jungle music. I'm sorry. Did I hear you right? You think because I'm white, you can speak to me with your white supremacy lace lingo? I don't fucking think so. Got up off that racist couch, slammed the door, and never looked back at my racist culture again. Fuck you, Karen. Crazy bald heads. Been listening to reggae since I was 10, brainwashed by the truth. Trenchtown rock cleaned my brain, taught me to stand firm in my frame. One love saved me from disconnecting. They wanted us to stay segregated. Thank God I was brainwashed by the jungle beat that met my ears in my early 20s. A culture of swag and truth. Ska and rub-a-dub raised me in the dance hall. Grew up with the Marleys, nourished by rice and peas and spicy rope teas. cheese, jerk chicken and ginger brew was my soul food. Went to the highest court of the land and filed for emancipation of a racist crew. Self-adopted to a new beat. Eyes wide open, escape my civilization at night while everyone was asleep. Nazi dread took me under his wing, flew me home to my own mind, and taught me the devil philosophy, freed me from my own mental slavery that was conditioned from my upbringing, showed me the hypocrites and told me not to worry, no cry, wipe my tears and drain me to conquer the duppy fear. Songs of freedom saved me from the fake news, the real brainwashing, twisting the sweet truth, pure lies, constantly trying to get their dirty mitts on me. But Rasta taught me to stand alone, firm to the root while my heart stays connected to Jah, staying far away from the parasites and bumba clots that want to strangle my heart. I was reborn into a culture that wailed for me to get up and stand up and don't give up the fight. Tosh schooled me that peace will never be unless we have equal rights and justice. I needed to separate myself from my culture and of superiority that claims they are the only ones that have the right to breathe as they keep a knee on the necks of my brothers and sisters, my adopted family. Search for the truth that was covered up in my white family. I was the only white chick sitting in all the Black study courses at San Francisco State, taught by professors who were former Black Panthers, finally heard the real history, knew I had white privilege before it was a term, left my significant other at home while I found a place for us to live, do my best to do good with my birth advantage. My true culture is about one love, one heart, one aim, one destiny that does not rise at the expense of another. Like Bob sings, I gotta move on, keep on moving and stay iron lion, Zion strong. My feet are my carriage and I will continue to march with a culture that knows what's right and will always fight until they stop incarcerating our people and treating them like criminals. No more sweet talk from the hypocrites and the vultures. I separated, disowned, and divorced myself from my down-pressa culture.
Yeah. Unmute yourselves and give it up for Metronome.
Oh, yes. Lights out, lights out.
Come on.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
That was
crazy.
awesome. Ginger beer.
Woo! I knew Metronome was gonna go on with this. I had that feeling. Let me unmute her one time. Should be able to unmute yourself.
Yeah, you knew. Thank you.
I knew. So did are we able to get on social media or still?
I'm so sorry. No, I'm still underground. Yeah, only here and Thursday nights.
Got you. Thank you. That was Metronome. And if you heard, she said Thursday nights because we also have an open mic on Thursday night, in case you don't know. And that is hosted by the incredibly talented La Bruja. She's an actress, a poet, a comedian, a hip hop artist, a singer, a dancer. She is a model. She does fantastic work. Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. You can check it out on the Nuyorican Poets Facebook page. Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. They do poetry, comedy, singing, a whole bunch of different stuff. So, and of course, we're back here next Monday. So if you can't wait till Monday, check it out on Thursday. So with that being said, we're moving right along to Miro. Miro's been lighting up the chat tonight, as she always does. After you post-perform, please check the chat, because I'm sure Miro, upon many other people, are saying nice things about you. Miro, how are you this evening?
I'm good. I'm overworked and underfucked, but I will echo Ray J and say that I am very, very grateful for the work right now, because there are so many others who don't have it. So I'll take the paycheck that I can get. So that's where I'm at.
I hear you. That's what's up. All right, you ready to share your poetry?
I am, though I'm not quite sure how I'll be able to follow Metronome because that was super good, but I'll try. So I named this poem after myself, Mireille. That is my actual name that nobody can pronounce unless I'm in France, but this is me. Mireille. Not really American, not fully Française, an eclectic combination of cities, sky miles, forest ramblings, pastries, TV, peeing behind bushes in the snow, museums, road trips, poses, shitty men, nudity, etc. in perpetuity. See, I'm a mixed bag, fruit smoothie, sweet with that sour kiwi, pack a punch like ginger, not everybody's thing, but whatever. I'm a country many have visited, but only few have stayed. I like it that way. They get me. Mireille. Mireille, silent, cause les Français, they like to keep it compliqué. I'm a verb, an adjective. I'm the vintage brooch in your hat. I'm the cracked skin on your hands when it gets cold, the warm, affectionate cat, the one who inspires you to be bold. I'm crystals and sage, a growing pile of books, continuously turning the page. I'm button-downs and boots, phone calls and postcards in pursuit of something more, hope, perhaps, or my next poem, wondering when I'll see my peeps again, nervous about tomorrow, blunt, cynical, gets me in trouble, but falls hard, loves deep, smiles when it suits me, black sheep, journaling, reading, funny at random, always trying. You'll be back. Curious, I know, my story's a strange kind of aphrodisiac. We've barely scratched the surface. This culture is existence rebelliously pushing past the edges of the petri dish. It's jackassery, judgment, jokes, gentle folks, brainy, noisy, a certain kind of crazy, a certain kind of racy, a certain kind of heavy. Yeah, that's me. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Miro.
Miro.
Following me now.
Awesome. With you.
Following me now.
This is great.
Miro bringing the heat, and I don't remember her real name, because you should be able to unmute yourself, Miro. But I do remember having a hard time pronouncing it, and you were like, "Don't worry, just call me Miro. Just say Miro." And I was like, "Thank you so much." Miro, where can we find you online?
Before I reveal where I'm hidden on the internets, I have a little announcement, if I may. So early last week, I contacted one Mr. Conqueso, who I do not think is with us this evening, but I had the idea of putting together a collection of poems from everybody who wants to participate with regards to nature, climate change, kind of like a love letters to Gaia compilation. And he told me that the first thing to do is to put together a grand council of editors. So this is where you can find me on Instagram, Miro Reads Books, all one word. And if you are interested in being on the High Council, slide into my DMs, why don't you, by Sunday, like 5 p.m., just so that I can get an idea of like who's interested, and I can make a list and can talk to Paul afterwards for the next steps. So I hope that answers the question. And I'm sorry for being long-winded. This is something that's been on my mind for a long time, and just wanted to throw it out there. So there it is.
Awesome. Thank you, Miro. Make sure you put the information in the chat as well so people could grab it.
I will do.
Thank you.
Thanks for the space. You guys have been amazing this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Miro. That is Miro. Make sure that you give her a follow. And this is why we talk about put your social media out there. We want to build community. And as she talked about, someone like Paul Conqueso has helped publish some of the poets. So make sure you do it. Connect with the people who are here. Also, shout out to Emily Cordes. She used to work with the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, handle our social media, help produce this show. See her checking out. Umberto, of course, checking in all the time. Annie Sand, I see. Appreciate you, Annie, checking us out. Always a bunch of people. Timothy Belgrave, I see him checking us out. He always checks in every now and then. A new gentleman, I don't know if James Quinn has been here, but I see you, James. I appreciate the background and the shirt. A little bit like the Freddy Krueger shirt, but I'm still feeling it, man. You're rocking it well. All right, let's move on because we may have time for the waiting list. Next up is Catherine Sweeney. Ooh, we didn't hear Catherine last week, but the prior 2 weeks we heard her back to back. She has been fantastic. How are you, Catherine?
I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me?
We hear you perfectly.
Okay, good.
Cool.
Okay, good.
So no plans to move back to New York yet? We're still out on the West Coast? Okay.
I don't love it, but for now we'll stay. I don't really have a choice.
Okay, just had to ask. All right.
I'm committed for now. Maybe when it opens back up, I'll come back and read on stage, right?
Okay, I'm gonna hold you to it. This has been recorded. All right, go ahead.
Okay. I'll do it. Okay, this poem is called "My Aunt Died of Small Cell Lung Cancer." It's part of a 3-part series about my family. So this is the third one. When she left home at 17, pregnant and holding only a bottle of whiskey, the neighbors wondered what had gone wrong. I think it was that her father was her first boyfriend. When I see family pictures, I still get uncomfortable. His arm pressed against hers. I only said it out loud once to my cousin, her favorite son. We were 6. He slapped me hard across the face, open-handed, and then kissed me with tongue. His name was also Edward, just like my grandfather. She started drinking water exclusively from a thimble the day after he died. It was all she would allow herself, even on Fridays during Lent. She didn't start smoking unfiltered cigarettes in defiance of her parents. He got her hooked after he fucked her on lunch break. According to my mother, she never did anything but fill an extra fridge in her basement with tubs of orange sherbet, cartons of Lucky Strikes, and white chocolate Whitman samplers. We shared a cigarette at my grandmother's funeral. Were you ever alone with him? I do remember once he took out his teeth as a game, but I never spoke to him again. She nodded. Good, she said, picking the tobacco off the tip of her tongue. That's it.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Catherine.
Wow, Catherine.
Wow,
Catherine.
Catherine Sweeney.
That is a story to share. That is difficult.
Oh, yeah.
That was heavy, man. Heavy. But that's one of the avenues of poetry, is to be that open. That's how we connect with people when they're most vulnerable. So, Kat, I appreciate that. Catherine, you have been lighting it up. Where can the people find you online?
I'll put it in the chat so you guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Catherine Sweeney, the East Coaster who has been transplanted to the West Coast, but when the cafe opens back up, she is going to come to the cafe, and we've got it recorded. If you want to see the recording of this and the proof that Catherine said she's going to come onto the stage, you could go to the Facebook page of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, and you can not only rewatch this open mic, but you can rewatch past open mics, past Thursday night open mics, and other stuff that the Nuyo has done. We do more than just open mic stuff. So next up, we have the last person on the guaranteed list is Assam Zane. Let me unmute him.
Hello, hello.
There we go. We can hear you. How are you this evening, sir?
I'm all right. Thank you.
Awesome.
I love
awesome.
the
I'm
theme.
glad.
I love that last poem.
Catherine's awesome, man. She's one of the newer people. She's killing it. She's got to keep. She's got to come back, and you know she got recorded. She's coming on stage, so we're gonna get you on stage too, man. But we're gonna keep your daughter away because I don't want to risk my job. All right, I don't want your daughter to take over my job. All right, go ahead, Assam.
I'm gonna jump into. I'm gonna try to do 2 quick ones so we can get to the list. The first poem is called "Catastrophic Sonnet." It takes its title from the Nakba, which is Arabic for catastrophe. This is the displacement of hundreds of thousands of Palestinian Arabs from their homes and lands right around 1948. And I also borrow a line from Walid Seif's poem, Death at Night's End. Catastrophic sonnet. Remembering is an ethical act. A Rishi Punya. My grandfather still has his house key from 1948. He says he lives in the part of the village where the past doesn't kill you. He invites his neighbors in for fruit and mixed nuts and something cool, then something hot. There is a belligerence of songbirds every square mile. He says, come see what I brought you from the market. Cucumbers, local, pomegranates, za'atar. I see you've renounced your birthplace, which is, of course, your right. You will dream of male sunbirds feeding on nectar midair. When they come for you, they will ask you about your love's name, her contours, her address. Where is it written that we're supposed to call? I misheard him talk of our rightful place at the top of the hill. My kids fell in love with imperialism last summer in London. They discovered legacy in the gardens. They woke to the logics of the enterprise. I miss the burgers at Johnny's. And I'm going to get to this poem called Rare Bird. 3 boys from the refugee camp next to my uncle's house are whipping a pigeon. They are dusty. I can see they're wearing the same clothes from the day before. The bird is dusty. It's not going anywhere. A broken bird trying to get off the ground sounds like a rolled up paper through air, like errant skin. You ask me to be more intentional. Today, work cicatrix into conversation. Show me your scar, now your limbs. Show me what it is that obsesses. Ask one question that won't be answered. What is it about these parts? Enumerate the invisible, not private struggle, which has its own air glow, not exactly the smoke from the fire that zippered more than it crackled, not the escape tunnel that led out from the concentration camp, not the memory of sea when we came across seaweed washed up on shore. These all have their signs and symbols, some way to point to at least the semblance of the thing in question, the truly unseen. How when I say no one had ever touched me before, you think of the pyracantha we never planted. The grass is a little taller and the clothesline a little slacker. How there is a certain strength in name that owes wholly to the intention. How the wind whispers, liberate.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Assam Zane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Just wow.
Thank you. Just,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. Thank you
Wow,
all.
that's so good.
Amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Whispers,
So beautiful.
whispers.
Well, sad.
Definitely.
Assam Zane, such a wonderful writer, man. Love having him on here. Let me unmute him so we can find out. Assam, tell the good people where they can find you online.
Thank you all so much. I'm on Twitter at IZINEH.
And please put that in the chat. Assam Zane. What a wonderful writer, man. We have gotten through our guaranteed list. Thank you for making it such a beautiful night again. I love the various voices and the various styles. I mean, we do this thing for 2.5 hours. That's longer than most movies. And we retain a vast majority of our audience. So we had 63 participants in Facebook. We're at 54, and that's difficult to do. And I would love to take credit as it being host. Most of the time I do, just to let you know. But the truth of the matter is it's everyone here who's contributed tonight, building your own voice, coming from your own perspective, poetic license. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And the honesty. So we have done a good job of going through the list, which means we have time for the waiting list. And we are going to our resident DJ. Make sure you follow her on Spotify. And that is Sam Park. Sam, how are you?
I'm so good, and I just want to say how thankful I am to be in such a beautiful, diverse space with these beautiful minds. Seriously, everyone inspires me, and it is an immense blessing to me that I get to share this, especially tonight, which I am so amped up.
Wait, that's weird that you said it, because your DM from earlier today said you hated everyone and you just watched to see if people messed up. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. For a while, Sam was just nodding her head. What is he saying? I'm joking. Sam never said that. She does love it. She is one of the most genuine people on here. So, okay, I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna let you do your thing. Go ahead, Sam.
word, y'all. So this is my poem, Sharing My Power, Sharing My Strife. It should be no debate of where I originate, answering questions to prove my weight as a valid citizen of the so-called United States. Born on July 6th, 1995, 2 weeks late, in a hospital in Chicago. But what marked my fate, crowning struggle as my soulmate, was that my appearance would emulate that although I was born in this place, I am still considered a guest. The privilege of the smart stereotype, but delivering second best put my patience, my pride, and my individuality to the test. I was raised to believe that success was married to unrest, that it was a liberal's academic excuse to acknowledge the depressed thoughts that I was taught to keep buried deep within my chest. I was raised on the deception that love manifests in dangerous discipline and daggered words that were sharpened upon self-interest. In August of the year 2001, the canvas was cleaned to a paper white clean slate, by which I mean that my family and I moved to New York, but upstate. I was thrown into education as the one yellow classmate that was destined to have the answers and whose job was to translate blatant racism into humor in order to fulfill the cultural obligation to never complicate. I was just trying to find a playmate. My adolescence consisted of carrying the burdened weight of endlessly being the subject of hate, which would quickly deflate my ego down to someone not to respect, but to tolerate. I was forced to ardently advocate for myself in ways that left no room to compensate the validity of my being. But regardless of the reasons I gave, I was still not seeing what they were seeing. Owning my originality became a cause for survival because I was tired of agreeing with the standards of white America, which I was taught would be freeing. I learned that freedom is a term that entices every human being, but it is only a reality to those that were born European. I grappled with the fact that I have pale skin, but I'm Korean, so they expect me to succeed as long as their own chances don't weaken. Compared to other ethnicities, though, I'm fully aware of the great responsibility that I carry because my family's right to immigrate is not the same as the circumstances of those that were forced into slavery and then to segregate. People of color were not born to be martyrs or to be looked at to appropriate, and the institutionalized tradition of the colonizer's oppression was set up to separate me from my Black and brown peers for racism to dominate. As someone with advantages, I want to use them to eradicate the notion that one is lesser than the other based on race, gender, and other traits. The existence of melanin and culture is something I revere and celebrate. So self-love and education is the new culture that I will incorporate. I am proud of my country's flower of hibiscus blooming in my cheeks as they blush pink. My brain holds the wisdom from my ancestors whenever I think. I use these gifts to smile and disarm those that want to see me sink, and I extend forgiveness to those that I grew up around who put me on the brink of erasing myself because they ignored my name and insisted on calling me Chink. Now, I am far too clever to be fucked around with and hoodwinked because I educated myself to change the way I think, and I owe that to W.E.B. Du Bois' coined double consciousness awareness that keeps me in sync. My body is my temple. My culture is not your kink. My success is driven by hard work, but you forget unabashed passion as the missing link. But as I see these deeper injustices, murders happening almost every hour, I am still reminded of the opportunities I was blessed with by birth to devour. So until I see equity, I will amplify Black, brown, and Indigenous voices from my fortress, my tower, because using my share of privilege is sharing my power.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Sam Park.
Parks does it again.
That's Sam Park.
Those good words.
Yes.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
good, man.
Woo!
Sam Park. We were able to get to the waiting list and to Sam. As I mentioned earlier, we had a record number of amount of people trying to sign up this weekend. So I'm glad we're getting into the waiting list. Sam, where can the people find you online?
So as you mentioned in the beginning, I am on Instagram at Zaddy_beats. That's ZADDY_beats. My Spotify, I will hit you with the link below. Please follow me. Please share, like anything. I just want to bring some lightness to your day. But thank you again so much. I appreciate this, Advocate. You're the best.
Thank you, Sam Park. No, I just have the best job. You guys do all the work. And then I get the credit, and then the Eureka loves me. It's so awesome. Okay, next coming up is Trisha De Jesus. And after Trisha, we're going to James Quinn. Let me unmute Trisha so we can hear her.
Good evening.
Hi, Trisha. Have you had a good day?
I have.
Good, because you look like you're glowing, like you're popping on my screen, like your aura is just like, today's a great day, you know? So that's why I asked if you did.
I did.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, let me mute myself, let you get into it. Go ahead.
The taste of rice in a different language. First, we attempt to stumble into the room, attempting at contrapuntal. These fingers are candles, fine tapers. I am told when tongues are fat with flattery. They flick worriedly at the flies hovering to catch a sip of humidity on my neck. Flushed. They tap on the pandan mat in front of them as if skin touching leaves are reassurance. These fingers can pick gingerly at the bungang araw, bougainvillea on my shoulder. Flushed. Their grace cannot pick up grains of rice to blend into the locale and avoid ridicule. These elegant hands find only enemies, swaying among the sugar cane. Now we make it homogeneous because we, the people, always existed in the margins. These fingers are candles, fine tapers, I am told, when tongues are fat with flattery. These fingers can pick gingerly at the bungang araw, bougainvillea on my shoulder. They flick worriedly at the flies hovering to catch a sip of humidity on my neck, flushed. Their grace cannot pick up grains of rice to blend into the locale and avoid ridicule. They tap on the pandan mat in front of them as if skin touching leaves are reassurance. These elegant hands find only enemies swaying among the sugar cane. Now, shall we put flesh upon these bones in this lean, lean time? Our family, newborn, took a trip to the river Damiana, the same river several years back, when my parents met and courtship became the next step. My aunts to wash the communal laundry, caustic soap, and palu-palu in tow, my cousins and siblings to wade and play a shy hide and seek among the large rocks. Every soul emitted the strong black morning coffee and sparse breakfast to bring their appetites to the water edge, as if this too could appease the tiny river gods. The older women folk woke up early than their normal 5 o'clock in the morning, to be sure to carefully pack a full lunch, nestled like sated infants among pandan leaves. A hearty country meal of salted dry fish, munggo with malunggay, and of course, the bounty of rice. Our parents watched us carefully, even as they struck up earnest, hungry conversation with relatives they had been starved of for so long, living away in a foreign country where bread was rice and there was vulgar excess of red meat available upon the table. The sun made its sedated trip across the impossible cloudless blue, and all of a sudden it squatted upon our heads, a signal for our elders to beckon our brown raisin bodies out of the rush of the water and onto the muddy banks. My Chahin, being the maiden aunt head of our clan, was allowed the order of how to unzip the fragrant leaf packages and undress the waiting delicacies. While she did this, with a meditative quality, she informed us in careful English that we would eat with our hands as tradition dictated, that a Filipino picnic eaten by hand, kamayan mo, wasn't merely born of necessity. It was unspoken etiquette, the way our stomachs and hands could honor the earth's issue. I was given a green square, rice, fish, tin with a vegetable-laden stew, and instructed sternly to find a smooth, flat rock to alight on. I laid the leaves level on my lap and I didn't look up to see if anyone else had started eating. So great was my craving to fill my belly. I only raised my beginning to be sleepy eyes from my leaf plate to the sound of raucous laughter, voices mature and wayfish mingling. Hindi mukhang marunong si Trisha gamitin ang kanyang kamay. It doesn't look like Trisha knows how to properly eat with her hands. For you see, when you are Filipino, your palms must face up. 4 fingers form a de facto scoop, while your thumb encourages the morsels like little prisoners marching into your mouth. In 1st grade in Vallejo, my mom packed me a lunch with rice, and I was immediately seen as other. On that river, I was pleasingly tan as a newly husked coconut, but only my skin screamed, Pinay, all the while my fingers giving me away. The end.
Wait. Unmute yourselves and give it up for Trisha.
Beautiful.
Yes,
Beautiful.
yes. Interesting story.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was right there. Everything. Oh my God, so much to dissect with that poem. But I gotta move on. Hold on. Let me unmute Trisha. Trisha always brings it, man. Trisha knows her poetry. Trisha, where can the people find you online?
On Instagram at Fin_Bell. That's PHYNNE_BELLE. And then I will post the rest on the chats. And I missed you guys so much because I didn't see you for 2 weeks. And I was going through withdrawal, and I had to come in whether or not I would get on the waiting list. I was just going crazy. But yeah, I'm so happy to be here with you guys.
I'm glad you got on. Thank you, Trisha. Trisha De Jesus. Also want to give a shout out to Luciana. I see her checking in. Arasael Rivera, I see him. He rocked out last week. He's been on here twice. And also there's a gentleman I haven't seen before, Malcolm Cook. Thank you, Malcolm, for checking out. First time seeing you. Oh, Lynn Lane is in the building too. Lynn Lane, you need to check out Lynn Lane's Instagram. He's a photographer off the hook, man. Lynn Lane. Okay, next coming up, we are going to James Quinn with the Freddy Krueger shirt that I had said. But he's rocking it well. What's going on, James? How are you?
Hey, what's up?
Where you located?
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, okay. You're out in Kentucky. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I love Louisville because of the bats. I'm a big baseball fan, and me and my kid research all of that. So shout out to Louisville, man. All right. So you ready to share your poetry?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. So I'm glad.
Go ahead.
So I'm glad I brought up that I was from Louisville because I'm sure y'all probably heard about the recent events about Breonna Taylor and all the protests and stuff. So this is a little poem that I wrote a day before that infamous announcement. So here we go. It's called Ghost City. Everyone is tired and screaming as the war keeps raging on. Empty streets and empty buildings, and all my friends will be gone. Here they sang of reformation. Here it was they fought and maimed. There it was they cried for justice, and then justice never came. You can hear them from the gunshots. You can see them on the ground, bleeding out in empty cell blocks, never heard to make a sound. They haunt our streets and sidewalks, scaring all who kill our race. Phantom voices here on our block come for those that prayed for grace. You should pray for them for mercy, for they'll never rest in peace, and you'll die for country glory, hanging low upon a tree. This is not a threat, but a warning. You should have left us alone. Now the deathly ghosts are coming, because you snatched them from their homes. Tell the politician and the lawman, free us all, no more pain. On the dove and on the lamb, that my friends will walk again. From the ashes of broken glass and burnt buildings, from the screams and cries of our families, from the trees we were hanged from with rope, from the prison cells for our bodies and hearts, for the motherland we were ripped from, before we drank from its knowledge of teat of knowledge. We will rise again to produce your nightmares for years to come. That's it.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for
Holy
James
shit.
Quinn.
Oh man, that was incredible.
Awesome. Goes to the heart.
Thank you.
So tough.
James Quinn, his first time on the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Welcome, James. Where can the people find you online, sir?
Okay, I have Instagram. It's not too innovative. It's just called James Quinn 917. I also got a website called I'll just put it in the chat, but it's called Ebony Geek Thoughts. It's where I have a blog where I talk about geeky things and all that stuff I love. And where am I else? I have a SoundCloud as well, and I also have a Twitter if y'all guys want to follow me. So I'm just kind of all over the place. I'll put them all in the chat.
And say the website again, because I'm all into that geek stuff. I'm in the geek culture big time. What's the website?
It's called Ebony Geek Thoughts. So that's where I
Ebony-
review comic books. Yeah.
Okay, Ebony Geek Thoughts, man. You ever check out Black Nerd Problems?
I haven't, but I know one of the poets on there, and he's in button poetry. I haven't checked out his stuff yet. Well, at least I haven't checked out his book yet, but I know.
Wait, which poet? You talking about Ian?
His name's Omar or something. I forgot.
Yeah. Oh, Omar.
Yeah.
Omar. I've known Omar for like 15 years, man. I've known him when we called him Ion. So you got to check them out. And he is a great poet. He is a great poet. Omar Holman. He is great.
Yeah.
So check him out. But I'm going to check your stuff out too. So make sure you please put it in the chat. James, welcome, man. Don't be a stranger, okay?
All right. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. That was James Quinn, man. I am into geek stuff. Shout out to Omar Holman, also known as Ion, Black Nerd Problems. Check them out too. Like, they do a great job. Love it. Okay, next coming up, we're going to Jenna Can Do No Wrong Fleeson. Jenna, you should be able to unmute yourself. There you are. How are you this evening, Jenna?
I'm good. I was really nervous that I wouldn't be able to read, but I am, and I really need this. This has been like a really bad weekend for me. I just got done with like all of my midterms, and so I have some poems I've written for you guys. I have 2 poems. They're really short poems, and yeah, so I'm ready. Okay, the first one is called Arab Enough. Sometimes I'm afraid I won't be Arab enough for the aunties and uncles who drink tea with my mother, because my identity crisis becomes their primary concern. They tell me that you shouldn't have to pick sides, but I've already geared up for battle because I could not forgive my whiteness for how it killed the Tunisian. Couldn't let it get away with another hate crime, couldn't let myself pass for the opposing team. When the white woman on the plane asks me why I wear that thing on my head, I tell her female empowerment. I remind her of modesty. I explain how my body is a falling in love afterthought. I don't tell her I'm hiding from my whiteness. I fail to mention how at times it's a force of habit, how it's turned into a political, cultural, ethnic statement for me. I'm afraid people will find out I'm white, not because being white is a bad thing. I'm sure many disenfranchised minorities wouldn't mind passing, but I'm afraid people will find out I'm white because that means I'll be less Arab. All I want to be is Arab enough, but I guess I'm just not. So that's the first poem. And the second poem is really how I've been feeling this like weekend, you know, so I hope I manifest good vibes for the rest of the week. But this was last week, so it's called Tiring. I am so tired. I go to sleep tired and I wake up tired. I take a nap because I'm tired, but after it's almost like I feel more tired, and I'm tired of his lies and hers, and I'm tired of school and work and adulting, and I'm tired of all the things that cause me stress. And sometimes I get so tired I forget what it felt like before I was tired, because sleeping it off isn't a solution. And I'm tired of people asking me why I'm so damn tired, and now I'm too tired to even sleep. Yeah.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Jenna.
Jenna.
Oh, yes, Jenna.
Nice.
Jenna Can Do No Wrong Fleeson. Hold on, let me make sure I mute everyone, and then we unmute Jenna one time. Jenna Can Do No Wrong Fleeson. I love Jenna's energy, man. And I love the honesty, and especially with that first poem, man. Like how you like being like so vulnerable and honest about your feelings. I know something like that is not easy Jenna, thank you. Where can the people find you online?
Yes. Okay. So I've been revamping my Instagram. That's what I kind of worked on after I finished my exams, waiting for the results. So that's what I did a little bit of. So you can find me at Jenna's Poems with a Z at the end, and that's where all of my work is going. So yeah, feel free to follow me there. And I appreciate the platform, and everyone really killed it tonight. It was so amazing. Like just from like the beginning, like so many different people. It was great. It was a great show.
Thank you, Jenna. Jenna can do no wrong, Fleece. And Jenna, quickly put your information in the mic. So we got through our guaranteed list. We got to a few people on the waiting list. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. But if you feel the need that you need to do more, Thursday night is our next open mic. You sign up for it Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you get the artist RSVP ticket. That is how you sign up. If you want to sign up for next Monday, you would do that Sunday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, 6 p.m. Pacific. That's when you would sign up. Next week is Mirage. That is the theme. Make sure you go to nuyorican.org. Check us out. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And yeah, so with that being said, good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting us into your homes. I have been your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Words. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Advocate of Words, and that is with a Z at the end. Wednesday, I'm being interviewed, doing some poems, gonna be talking about the craft behind the scenes stuff. In 2 weeks, I do have the erotic open mic opening up, and I'm trying to plan to do some workshops. And I wanna end tonight a little special. I wanna give you the keys to succeeding and being happy in life, all right? A lot of people try to give this to you, but I've got it. So listen up. The key to succeeding